Hello and welcome back to The Draw, a Fair to Green podcast. And we have another major winner to talk about, a first-time major winner, a surprising major winner. I mean, no one except maybe Ryan Fox saw this coming this week. So congratulations, Ryan Fox. He's the 2026 Open Championship winner at Royal Birkdale. And it was a great finish. He made birdie on the last hole to win a major. What else would you want as a professional golfer?
Yeah, it was a great tournament. The first couple of days we see guys that we don't really expect. Jackson Zuber, no disrespect, but first round leader. I wasn't really expecting that. Then you have Ryan Fox showing up, who at the time we don't think that he's going to win the tournament. And then as the rounds go on, you see Tommy Fleetwood trying to make a charge, and Sam Burns going up there and shooting a 62 as well with Ryan Fox and Scottie Scheffler and Cam Young and Russell Henley, like the big names you expect to see, but. At the end, it's Ryan Fox who wins Claret Jug, the golfer of the year.
It was a great tournament. I liked it. I liked seeing the grass being all brown and burned out. I thought it made it fun to watch, made it more difficult for the players, having to figure out how to stop the ball, not get it to the bunkers, how to stop it on the greens. I mean, you did see three 62s. You saw Burns and Herbert shoot six on Friday, and then Fox did it on Saturday. I mean, those are tied for the lowest scores in major championship history with multiple other 62s like Ricky and Xander. They both did it at the US Open. So I thought the course was fair. I thought it was really cool to see. It's again, you had, like you said, you had leaders up there. You had Scotty, who was pretty much an average putter away from winning another major. He just couldn't make anything. And it's
Oh,
just kind of
it was
back to a
bad.
couple years ago. And I don't know if it saw, it was like he's like in the 130th ranked putter for the week. And so he's literally a couple putts.
Oh,
He finished,
goodness.
I think, three back again. So it's a couple birdies. Tommy Fleetwood played fine on Sunday. I thought for someone who's such a good ball striker, his ball striking wasn't there. And he didn't hit a lot of drivers, which was also the other weird thing. I know that with it running out, he didn't have to hit driver, but I thought he probably needed to get to a certain number to win, and he just never kind of really put himself into contention there. But the home crowds loved him. It was a great scene for him on 18. That was really cool. That would have been really cool for him to win. And Sam Burns, I don't really know how to put it. I don't want to say he's choked multiple times this year because he didn't choke at the US Open. It wasn't his tournament to win. It was Wyndham's, and he almost made Wyndham lose it. But this one's going to sting a little more. It's just, yeah, he wasn't expected to play. We all know the story. His wife was supposed to give birth around the Thursday, and they ended up having their baby girl 2 weeks early. So he wasn't supposed to play, so he wasn't ready, and all of a sudden he finishes third. I'm going to not talk about this tournament. He's had five other leads after 54 holes in his career, and he's only converted once. So now he's one of six in his career. It's
That's bad.
I don't know. Yeah, it's
I mean, the
and
winning
I
is
like
hard,
Sam
but that's
Burns.
bad.
Yes. And Sam Burns is a good golfer. And the one thing that you got to think that is one of the hardest things to do to close out a tournament, he's the best in the world at in putting. And again, he hit some good putts Sunday, but didn't go in. But like the 3 hole stretch, I think it was 4, 5, 6 or 5, 6, 7, whatever it was, where he made three bogeys in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, he put himself in terrible spots off the tee where, yeah, you're gonna leave yourself with 20 feet, 50 feet, and he's a great putter, but those are hard to make. I don't. It was a tough scene for Sam. I know he still finished in top three. He's finished really high in the majors in the last 2 years. He's been really good, but it's getting to the territory of like, can he close a tournament? And at this point, we got to say no. The proof is right there, one of six.
Yeah, so Sam Burns, I talked about him all the way back in March after the Pebble Beach, where he had a chance to top at the end and he didn't come away with a win. When I talked about it then, I said Sam Burns, he's a good player. He's 5 career wins, no major wins. He's gonna build a good career. He doesn't no majors. He's in that category with Patrick Cantlay and then maybe Russell Henley, that kind of category of really good player, but doesn't have any major wins and is kind of disappointing, honestly. And I think Sam Burns, I'm all out on Sam Burns in the majors after this week. I'm out. I don't think he has it in him to win the majors. We can go over his major results this year. He's a T7 at the Masters, T26 at the PGA, runner up at the US Open, and third place at the Open. So very good results, but doesn't really matter. Like no one cares where you finish. Second place is first loser. Like that's how it goes. And Sam Burns, he doesn't have what it takes. He goes into the final round at the Open at a course where it's very hard to hit into trouble. The rough was playing it was an astoundingly easy course for a major championship. I'm sorry. I love the
Yeah.
course. I don't mind the brown at all. I think that gets too much hate, but it was an easy course. Like you can hit it, and the guys were bombing it in the rough all week. They were spitting it out of the rough. You can get up there 360 plus on the drives. The wind wasn't bad. That was kind of its defense. Wasn't really any wind. So the course was very gettable. As we saw, he shot a 62. But in that final round, you come with a 2-shot lead, and as you mentioned, you lose it by the 4th hole or the 5th hole. And now you're trying to play catch up with everyone else who has the momentum of, look, Sam Burns is doing the thing again where he doesn't win the major. And I think Sam Burns, he shot 2 over, Ryan Fox shot 2 under, and that was the difference. And Sam Burns choked away his major win. And I know we can make excuses. Last year at the US Open, he hit out of a puddle. Fine, we can give him that. That's okay. But this year, after seeing his results and, you know, in his performances in the last couple of rounds of the tournament, I don't see it. And he can have a great career winning an event a year, making a bunch of money, playing on some teams, but no major wins, which is kind of what kind of determines a player's career, in my opinion, when it's all said and done.
No, it's shocking because he puts himself in contention. He can't do it, and he had looks. He had good looks. I think it was 16, or it was the first par 5, I think 14. He gets into the greenside bunker in 2, and they're like, all right, this has plenty of room. You just get it on the green, let it roll. And he fats a bunker shot that just gets out of the bunker. Luckily, it doesn't come back to him. And now he has 35 feet, 30 feet for birdie. It's like Ryan Fox was in the crap in the back of the green, and he chips it to 6 inches and has a tap and birdie. And you had the easier lie. It's like, what's happening? And then I think it was maybe it was 17, hits a great tee shot on that long par 3, and his putt just burns the edge. Again, that's whether he hit it too wrong. I know people are complaining about the greens being bumpy, whatever it is. He gave himself opportunities. He just has to cash in. He hasn't yet. And you're right. He's in that. Patrick Cantley, Ludwig Gobert, Victor Hovland, Tommy Fleetwood, all these players who are really good players that have yet to win a major. And again, it's hard. And as you get older, there's a younger crop of players coming up. Or you're going to have these random winners like a Ryan Fox and Aaron Rye. Like, it's when you're in contention and you have the lead, you got to take advantage of it. And he didn't. And luckily for him, he didn't, because Ryan Fox played great. Ryan Fox was, I think, from the 13th hole on, was very aggressive in, you know what, yeah, I hit driver a long way, and I'm going to keep hitting driver. And he made some big putts. His lie was at again, I think it was one of the par 3s where he is in the bunker and he's up against the lip, has to chip out backwards, makes a great bogey to just go down by 1 stroke. But what does he do? The next hole, makes a birdie on a hole that people aren't bird. Then on the par 5s, he does his job. And again, the last hole was one of the hardest holes of the tournament and may have played the hardest or second hardest. 70 players played that hole on Sunday. 5 players made birdie. Ryan Fox was one of them. Again, he hits the amazing drive, 350, 60 yards down the fairway with, again, the day before, he hits it in the fairway bunker and barely gets it over and settles for a par to shoot his 62. And he stuffs, I think they said, a 9-iron to 11 feet and makes the putt. I mean, he played incredible down the stretch. I wasn't sure if he was going to win. I honestly thought Cam Young was going to win at 9 under. I thought, you know what, this is Young's. I don't know if Fox is going to get it. And then when I saw that par 3 shot in the bunker, I was like, oh, he's just going to unravel here. And he didn't. And even on the par 5, when he had a chip from the hay in the back of the green, hits a great pitch shot and gets it to a foot and taps in. So he played fantastic. No one would have saw this coming. And it's a really cool story. He's 30. He just got PGA Tour status as a 37-year-old. He won 2 times. Sam Burns is going to hate Ryan Fox, I think, at the end of this. Ryan Fox beat Sam in a 4-hole playoff last year at the RBC Canadian Open, and now took over Sam for the Open Championship. So Sam Burns does not like Ryan Fox. So sign me up for a President's Cup singles match, Sam Burns versus Ryan Fox. Give it to me now. That would be fantastic.
I'm gonna say no on that one just because I want, Sam Burns to win his President's Cup match. But yeah, I mean, Ryan Fox, I love the way he plays. I love how he just steps up there and just hits the ball. Unorthodox swing, does all the things differently than the other guys. He doesn't have that kind of smooth swing, pretty, all like the things that people try to teach. He goes up there and just kind of slaps at it almost, and it goes a long way, and it's very effective. As we saw this week, he won a major, and Ryan Fox showed incredible character down the stretch to win his first major. He looked more like the veteran than Sam Burns did easily. He was going up there confidently hitting shots, executing. He did all the things he needed to do and fully deserved for Ryan Fox. And then my other point, someone I wanted to highlight, it was also, you mentioned him, is Cam Young. And I thought it was so funny that Cam Young going into the Masters and the US Open, he was like the guy. He was, man, we expect big things out of Cam Young and doesn't get it done. And then now Cam Young, I mean, I'll say it, he has not been playing well the last few weeks. He has not been looking like Cam Young that we saw at the beginning of the season at all. And then I was like, okay, I wasn't even looking at Cam Young on the leaderboard this week. And then all of a sudden, here's Cam Young after the second, third round, and he's put himself in contention here. And oh my God, there he is in the last round at the top of the leaderboard. And I thought that would have been really funny if the major that no one expected Cam Young to win, he won. But unfortunately, he was just too far behind to win. But, you know, it's still a pretty cool finish. And I still think Cam Young can win a major. I think he's got enough talent and he hits the ball. He does so many things right. I think it is going to come for him at some point, but you know, just wasn't his week this week.
I think the one shot he probably wants back is the 18th hole on Sunday where he's in that fairway bunker like Fox was on Saturday, and he thought he could get it over the lip with a 6-iron. And he said afterwards he opened the face and he was just a little too close to the lip, and he hits it and it bounces, ricochets, and he has to settle for a bogey. Almost hold out of the greenside bunker for par, but he drops a shot to 9 under. If he just chips out of that bunker, down the fairway, hits it close, and walks away with a par, he's at 10 under. And Fox, who knows? It's a whole different game when Fox knows he has to get to 10 and not 9. Like it. So I don't know. I think that's the one he's going to be kicking himself for. But again, Cam Young, he's contended here. He's finished second at the Open. I think it was 2022 when Cam Smith won, when he outdueled Rory. So he's going to win one. He's too good of the driver of the ball and too good of a putter, and he just has the right makeup where nothing phases him, that I think it's just a matter of time. It's not a if, it's a when, with I think a couple of these players that we talked about. But he's really good, and he'll be, again, come next year at some of the majors, he'll be one of the favorites as well. And we have to talk about the Bryson situation.
Of course, I was going to bring that up. We have to.
I mean, look, I think a lot of the PGA Tour players said it really well. So, like, I'm not going to, it's not any crazy thing. Like, I don't think Bryson's a cheater. I don't think that. I think Russell Henley said it, and he goes, the problem is that Bryson is in the feature group, and he has cameras on him at all times. He goes, when I played that hole, there are no cameras on me. So I could have done the same thing, and no one knew. So I think that's where my problem is, that because he's Bryson, because he's Jon Rahm, because all these stars have all the cameras on them, they have to be extra careful. Not saying that they should do it when the cameras aren't on, but I think this stuff happens more than the casual golf fan realizes, but there's just no way to see it all because there's too many golfers on the course and too many holes. And so I think this probably does happen more than people would think, but we just can't tell it happens.
Yeah, I don't think Bryson's a cheater. I think after watching the video, he does step behind his ball, whether it was intentional, unintentional. He does probably give himself a better lie, and I think the penalty was deserved. That's how it should have been, and he doesn't like it. He doesn't think he did anything wrong, of course. And Bryson being Bryson, he's gonna turn it into a show, and that's what he does, and that's still okay. I've accepted that, and that's fine. And he's not gonna like his penalty, which makes a lot of sense. But at the end of the day, he took his penalty, played the next round, granted with a lot of drama, but he did take the penalty and he played the next round. So he kind of served any kind of wrongdoing, if what they're saying. But another part of this is the Rory comments that followed.
Loved it. Absolutely. Give me all of this stuff right here.
This is Rory. He says whatever's on his mind, whether it's to fans, whether it's to the media. He lets everyone have it. And at this time, I didn't actually like it because, I'm not going to lie. I really want to like Rory, and I do like Rory. Don't get me wrong. I do like Rory, but sometimes it's hard to like Rory when he kind of brings the drama and acts maybe a little bit like a child in the media. And for being one of the best golfers of his generation, you basically don't have to do much for people to like you. If you're a good golfer and you kind of just do what you need to do and you're nice to people, I guess people like you. It's golf. Like, people judge you off your play for the most part. But Rory, he has a lot of haters and he has fans too. Very polarizing guy. But I didn't like his comments after the Bryson stuff. Rory, you've done your own set of being a child before. Like, I don't think you're allowed to talk on this one. And I think, and we've seen you do your own fair share of bad play at the U.S. Open a couple years ago at the Country Club. He beat the heck out of the bunker with his wedge in the fairway bunker. So throwing clubs, things like that. So I think Rory, you could sit this one out, and that's all I really have to say on it. I don't really like Bryson the most, but I'm on his side here.
Yeah, I thought it was funny that he was like, "Oh, he's just a showman." It's like, Rory, you're also a showman. So like that one, I'm like, this doesn't hit the mark. But like the fact he just straight up said like, "I'm not fond of him," I'm like, that's funny because you're definitely not. I think the other thing, real quick, and before we move on to the other PGA Tour event, John Rahm and Robert MacIntyre getting warnings for throwing clubs and pounding the ground. Like I guess Robert MacIntyre during his fourth round was like beating driver into the ground after
Yeah, he
bad
got
shots.
mad
It's
and
like
just smacking it.
come on, like grow up. Like I don't know. Like I want them to just start giving the penalties. Forget the warning. Give the penalty right away. Like why are you again? I think it's just annoying. Like you're a professional golfer. Like yeah, you're gonna hit a bad shot every once in a while. Like just stop with like nothing good comes. You're gonna ruin the tee box for the next person. You're gonna like just like forget it. Like sure, yell, scream, tell the course it sucks, but like when you're damaging the tee boxes and stuff like that, it's like, all right, like yeah, you're not in contention, Rahm. You're not in contention, MacIntyre. Just finish the round and go. I don't know, punch a locker somewhere, but don't break it like Wyndham at Oakmont.
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe
It's
we stay away from punching lockers for a few years.
yeah, I don't know. It's just like grow up. It's time to like yeah, we get it. You're fiery guys, but also come on, like just move on.
Well,
But overall,
we do know there is a line that you can cross to get an automatic penalty with Joaquin Niemann at the U.S. Open. So there is a line that you can cross to get an instant
I would
penalty.
love to know what that line is because like Rahm threw his club 5 yards. So like where is the line that you get the penalty? Like we know that Neiman threw it, someone said like 45 yards. So where in that between 5 and 40 yards is if I throw it 10 yards am I fine? Is it throw it 20 yards am I fine? Like what is the line? I want to know what the line is because that would be hilarious. But overall, it was another good major. Next year, the Open Championships at St. Andrews, the old course. We all know the history with that. Again, the major season was pretty good for the most part. Rory winning back-to-back Masters, Aaron Rai coming out of seemingly nowhere to win the PGA Championship, Wyndham Clark winning a second U.S. Open, and now you got Ryan Fox, a 39-year-old veteran with his first career major, and just a really cool story. So it was a good year for the majors. We have about 200, I think I saw 265 days till the Masters start. I am seeing those emails of people getting denied for the Masters lottery. Have not got my lottery results yet. I don't know if you have entered the lottery or if you ever do, but I'm people getting.
She got no. She had to log into the portal, but she got a no.
Yeah, so I haven't looked yet. I haven't got the email, so I guess we have.
Wish you the best
We
for
have that
you.
to look forward. We did have an opposite field event. We had the Corales Puntcana Championship down in the Dominican Republic. Stefano Mazzoli from Italy wins in his third career start on PGA Tour. He's a DP World Tour member. He's not a PGA Tour member, so now he earns PGA Tour status through 2027. He was down 4 strokes with 6 holes to play and came back and win. So pretty good result there for him. Really cool to see someone who's just kind of an average player on the DP World Tour. I think he was down in the 130s in the race to Dubai rankings. Now he's all the way up to 39 with the win. Again, life changing. He gets the rest of this year on the PGA Tour and next year, and that's massive for this new PGA Tour schedule that's coming in 2 years. So if he can play well next year and kind of get into that championship status and not the challenger status, that'd be really cool. Gordon Sargent, PGA Tour U winner from a couple of years ago. He finished second for the best finish of his career. He's looking like to be what everyone thought he was at Vanderbilt. He's a really good player. Ben James, who just won the PGA Tour this year, has made the cut in 5 events since turning professional, and he's finished. I think he finished 4 this week. He's another good young player coming up. You had, I think it was Miles Russell, Blades Brown, all in the field, all really good. So good for Mazzoli getting that first career win on the PGA Tour, and it's a life-changing moment for him.
Yeah, it was just a cool event this week. Sometimes the opposite field events, they obviously get overshadowed by the major events, but still a good tournament to follow along and some cool names are on the leaderboard. And Stefano Mazzoli, I don't remember the last time an Italian won on the PGA Tour, so I guess that's pretty cool. I can't remember if
Probably
it's
Francesco Molinari
yeah, it's
is
been a while.
probably it,
So
I would think. And that may have probably been his major win in 2018
yeah,
ish at the Open.
it's been a while. So yeah, second event on tour this season. He played another opposite field event for one of the majors. But as you mentioned, Gordon Sargent runner up. And then Ben James, I think Ben James is very close to a very good result here. He's been putting together some amazing rounds of golf recently. At the Canadian Open, he was the leader after the first round, and he's very good. I believe he went to UVA. He was one of the top guys, if not
Yep.
the top guy on that team that went to the national championship. So I do think Ben James is slept on with all these other guys, with Gordon Sargent, as you mentioned, Miles Russell, Blades Brown, but Ben James is kind of slept on, and I'm excited to see how he plays, in the next couple of years. Where could he be? And then obviously back to the winner, Stefano Mazzoli. Congratulations and to him. And now he gets status on tour, kind of like not like an Alex Fitzpatrick, but kind of similar, where one or two events, starts on the PGA Tour and earns his tour card that way by getting a win.
Yeah.
Granted, solo event, but this is definitely life changing for him, and we'll see what he does with it, and hope for the best.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Ben James. He's in the field this week for the 3M Open. PGA Tour regular season only has 3 events left. They have this one, the Rocket Classic next week, and the Wyndham Championship. And Ben James is, again, he's 5 for 5 and making cuts in his professional debut so far in the first month and a half of it. It's a shockingly good field for the week after a major. You have Scottie Scheffler that for some reason is playing in this event. Good for him. I don't know why, but cool for the people in Minnesota. You have Tom Kim, Hideki Matsuyama, Tony Finau. Ryan Fox was in the field but withdrew, so that's fair. It's a course where you're going to have to go low, like a lot of these TPC courses. The last hole is a tricky par 5 that you'll see. If you hit a good drive, you hit a 3-wood over the water. It's a cool little tournament. Kurt Kitayama won last year for a second career win. He won by 1 stroke. It's the golfer's last chance to kind of get in that top 70 in the FedEx Cup points. So there's a lot of pressure on some of these guys that are on the bubble, like Brian Harman's 81, Tony Finau's 83. Like PGA Tour winners and veterans are like close to missing out on the playoffs. So that's going to create some drama here the last 3 weeks of the regular season. My pick is going to be Keith Mitchell. He has 2 top 5s in the last 7. Yep, Kashmir Keith. He played really well at the U.S. Open a couple weeks ago. I think he finished 3rd there. He had another 3rd finish, I think, out at the Byron Nelson. He's finished 5th here at this event in 2021 and 2023. He's a good driver of the ball, and he can score. He can go low, and that's going to be real crucial at this event. So give me Keith Mitchell to win. I know Scottie's the easy pick, but I'm going to go with Keith Mitchell here.
Yeah, obviously I was thinking about picking Scottie because he's been tearing up these kind of Mickey TPC courses, Craig Ranch and River Highlands, going ridiculously low and making it look like a pitch and putt because that's what he does. But I'm actually not going to go with Scottie because that would be boring. But I'm going to go with Sungjae Im. I think I've picked him before, and he didn't win, obviously, but he's been very close to getting his first win on tour this season. He was close down in Quail Hollow. He was close at Quail Hollow. A couple other tournaments. I think he played well. He's been playing well recently. I think he's very close to putting it all together and winning his first event. So I think Sungjae Im could have a very good chance here. Great ball striker too, by the way. One of the best.
Yeah, and makes tons of birdies.
Oh yeah.
So again, very key thing here at this course is you got to make birdies. So again, those are our picks for that event, PGA Tour event. There's no DP World Tour event this week. They're off for like a month now. They don't play again until like middle of August. So over on the Ladies European Tour and the LPGA Tour, we have the ISPS Women's Scottish Open at Dundonald Links in Scotland. Again, a week before a major, pretty good field. You got the Nelly Cordas. You have Lottie Wood, who's the defending champion. You have Georgia Hall and Charlie Hall. I'm going to go with Hae-Jin Choi. She finished top 10 here last year. She finished 2nd place at the Dow Championship a couple of weeks ago. T-Tour at the KPMG PGA Women's Championship. She did miss the cut at the Evian, so that's the kind of only blimp here. And then she also has a T3 finish at the Mizuho Americas Open. So she's played well the last month. She played well at this course last year with a top 10 finish. So give me Hae-Jin Choi for the win here.
Yeah, very good field. The week before week before the last major of the season, and Nelly Korda's in the field, so it's obviously very hard to pick against her, and I will actually be picking against Nelly Korda. But I'm going to be going with Lottie Wood, kind of probably the second best player in this field, and she won last year at the Women's Scottish Open, her first professional win. She won the Irish Open as an amateur, and then came over to the LPGA Tour in this event and won as professional. So a ridiculous stretch of golf for her, and Lottie Wood has played some great golf this season. She won in Cincinnati. She beat Charlie Hall in that tournament, and then she lost in a playoff to Miyu Yamashita in the most recent tournament in America in Minnesota. So she lost in a playoff to Yamashita. So she's played very well this season, and they were off last week, and I expect her to come back and win, playing some links golf that she grew up on.
Yeah, she was one of my up there picks that I'm like, and I was like, well, let me go with someone else. But again, I did pick Yamashita, so I was like, yeah, good. Finally got a pick right. But again, good event. Again, more links golf. I love watching links golf. I think it's so fun to watch them be creative and all that. And the bunkers, love watching the bunkers and the horrendous lies and people having to kneel down to hit bunker shots. Just give it all to me.
The Bryson
one
yes.
was great. The Rahm one was great. I mean, all of them were fantastic. Before we go, just a little news here. Between the DP World Tour, PGA Tour, and the Asian Tour, they announced a multi-year partnership that will run through 2029. It's part of the existing strategic alliance that the DP World Tour and the PGA Tour have. They're adding the Asian Tour in it and just going to provide commercial and playing opportunities and establishing pathways for Asian Tour players to DP World Tour events. So again, this is just another partnership to make the game more global. And I think really what this does is kind of cuts a nice little feeder tour from Live. Again, if I'm remembering correctly, if you finished in top 2 or top 3 of the Asian Tour, you could get a Live card. We all know that Live is kind of flailing at this moment. I don't know if this means the end of it, but with the Asian Tour now kind of leaving that agreement to join with the DP World Tour and PGA Tour, I don't know where Live goes. But also interesting, the PGA Tour is trying to get more global. They want to get some of these national opens. So maybe you get some more players to go over and play some of those Asian Tour events in the fall as part of this new PGA Tour schedule here in the next coming year. So just a little thing that I think helps the PGA Tour and the DP World Tour and really hurts the Live golf, whatever they have left in whatever they're doing at this point.
Yeah, I love it. I love the different ways that, guys can get onto the PGA Tour. I honestly think of it as like the minor leagues. I love minor league baseball, so big fan of that. So it's a little comparison. This is maybe like the single A, and this is kind of the first step here. Then you go to DP World Tour, it's a little higher, and then we'll go to, we can tie in the Corn Ferry Tour, PGA Tour U. So there's all sorts of ways to get onto the PGA Tour now, which I love. I love seeing there's so many talented players there's limited pathways, and some of them get dropped because there's only one really way beforehand to get onto the PGA Tour. So, or a couple ways, but now there's plenty of ways. So I love this for the PGA Tour, and and as everyone knows, I'm not the biggest Live guy, in the nicest way possible. So I love anything that kind of takes away from Live, and it's not that Live has not had a lot going their way the last few months now, and with the rumors of it shutting down a few months ago, obviously hasn't shut down, but we'll see where it goes. I think it's too early to say Live's done, because they are backed by the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund, so they just print money, but they can, with the players and all these kind of ways the PGA Tour is kind of getting back at Live. Yeah, it's tough for them. So we'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah, I think you said it best. I think giving these players multiple pathways to the PGA Tour, to the DP World Tour, I think is great because, again, look at the major champion. Ryan Fox played his way onto the PGA Tour via the top 10 in the Race to Dubai rankings, and now he's a major winner. He has 3 wins on the PGA Tour. So, again, you have great stories that come from these feeder tours, we'll call them. You have Ben Griffin, who was a Corn Ferry Tour guy. He won 3 times last year, right? These stories are cool. You're going to get more of these stories as you open the game up a little more. And with this new PGA Tour schedule happening in 2 years, you're going to need a lot more golfers to fill out both tours, we'll call it. So, yeah, I think it's just another great way to expand the game, get some of the top talent down into one of those Asian Tour events. And, it's a great golfing economy there. They have big-time players in Hideki and a lot on the women's side. And the Korean golfers are really good. We talked about the 2 South Korean golfers that won 2 weeks ago So again, I think it's a great way to grow the game globally, and I think it's only going to lead to good things. Again, check us out on fairwaygreen.com. Check us out on Instagram. Read all our articles, reviews, recaps, and all that. We'll be back next week to recap all these tournaments and preview the final major of the year, which is hard to believe. No more men's majors, one more women's major. We got that to preview next week. So enjoy the golf this week.